Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts, and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. So let's take a look again on the cryptocurrencies, and Bitcoin market currently is becoming the very interesting market to analyze the trade. In general, it's a lot of things to discuss right now. First of all, some common thoughts is that, as we warned in our regular monthly reports, even since the middle of the 2021, it is a big question how big investors and investors society will build in the new asset, which is a cryptocurrency, in the chain of the classical asset, how they intend to treat it, stocks, bonds, gold, something else. That was some really intrigue around it when we saw this rally to the new tops here and here. So it seemed that, well, it's absolutely new asset which will get the special features, special treatment, but the reality appears to be very simple. Based on the behavior on the Bitcoin market, you could conclude that investors treat it as a risky asset. There's no even smell of the gold features. Second, they treat it as the secondary quality risky asset. So Bitcoin currently repeats the price action on the stock market and actually shows the performance that is usually typical to the worst of them. I mean the stocks. Finally, it strictly stands in relation to interest rates, which also makes it, it just confirms that investors mostly treat it as a risky asset. So we should treat it correspondingly. And we should not expect that now something will happen and somebody will come and buy a lot of Bitcoin, so we're coming to the good point for entry. When you take a look at the overall situation as in the world, so those of you who are watching and reading our weekly reports, you know that currently we pay a lot of attention to geopolitics. We're not expert in the geopolitics. We're interested in the impact of the geopolitics makes on financial markets. And here we come to conclusion that whatever will happen, it will have long-lasting consequences. So just because the Russia that had set the new conditions to the North Atlantic Union concerning the excluding of the members have been accepted there after 1997. So all these steps just can't finish immediately and surprisingly. When you make such statement, you can't switch it backpedal and just forget what you have said just last week. The same is from the United States, that they just can't get no answer. They have to answer. And it's really very tricky moment stands here around it, and it's definitely this is long term to play this game. It means that the tensions that stand in the geopolitics will not be over soon. Why we think that this is mostly because of the geopolitics? Well, guys, mostly because of the performance of the gold market. So we'll take a look at the 10-year yields. You could see in the recent couple of weeks, market just completed our target, stands flat, even shows downward action, forming bearish reversal pattern, suggesting some drop, right? But at the same time, real interest rates are rising, and this usually shows negative impact on the gold. But if you have read our recent weekly report on the gold, you probably remember that the storages of this Peter fund has increased. Gold market shows upward action, resisting very well to all negative processes. It means that geopolitics right now provides really sensible effect on the markets. And that explains the drop on the stock market, not just because of the performance of the earnings reports of the equities, but also the tensions. Investors are going to safe haven. So, and Bitcoin just stands in this tendency. As a secondary quality risky assets, it is sold out first. So, what we could say on the monthly chart? Unfortunately, it's nothing to be happy for bulls, because market has dropped and broken through the confluence support. This is bad sign, and it has broken really aggressively. Market has raised the grabber that potentially could be formed here, although it is still the week till the end of the January. But even if market returns that big up and close above it, well, it is very difficult will be to rely on this grabber again. So, and personally, since I think that concerning geopolitics, it is long-term subject, I'm not expecting, or but I had said I treat this minor probability that this drop will be reversed up. Market tested pivot and collapsed. So, taking it all together, it suggests that next area that we need to take a look at is 26.28. Previous lows, early pivot support 1, major 618 support. So this is next destination we are going to. Finally, on the monthly chart, another subject to discuss with this recent drop is take a look at the trend oscillator has created the new lows. It means that this is volatility bearish breakout. Just reverse this picture that we traded before, and we said about bullish volatility breakout. We said when breakout has happened, wait for a 618 retracement, and has happened in May, and then upward extension. COP target has been reached. Now, you could imagine something of that sort. Wait when this drop will be over. Probably it might happen right here. Then wait for retracement. Very probable that's just could be retested this confidence. And then be prepared for extension down. So this background seems currently a bit, not very, a bit surprising and not believable, but that's actually could happen, and it brings positive and negative signs. So those of you who are stuck with these positions and you do not know what to do with the bitcoins, as you have bought it something here, maybe around this area, that will be some good news for you, because some pullback here should happen and it will be relatively strong, and that will be a chance to contract your position and maybe close. For the bears, it's also a positive sign. So if you do not know how better to enter short or what to do here, and you trade on long-term charts, well, you could wait for this pullback. That probably will happen once this initial swing down will be over. But we will discuss it in the time when it will happen. Currently, on the monthly chart, we could suggest the next target will be right here. On the weekly chart, the same story. Appearing of the double top here is very bad sign, so it's not good. But it also suggests reaching of the 26 area. Better to say here is low stands around 29, but we have divergence. It suggests that this low should be taken out. So it might be some spike or something of that sort, but also tells us about an area at least 27, 28. So the next destination point right here. By the way, it's necessary to check whether we right. Market right now not at the result, so it has chance to go lower. Now let's turn to the daily. On the daily chart, we also have not very good moments. So first of all, this recent collapse, as we said, that here is building of the bearish dynamic pressure, and it seems it was correct suggestion. And let's take a look that once the bearish reversal session has appeared on the next day after we said that it is forming the bearish dynamic pressure, it has become everything clear. So this is bearish reversal session, and it has to get the continuation, and collapse has happened. What is more interesting is that if you take a look at the 4-hour time frame chart and talk about and take a look at the targets that we have set, it was COP and 161 extension of the butterfly. Market has dropped below them. So it means that market was tending not to this target, but it would like to go lower, but it was not able to do this. So it is not action to the targets. This is action just to the downside. And the feature and the tool that have prevented this further drop was daily oversold. So market hits the daily oversold, right now stands flat. So here we, as a COP already has been broken, actually major support here also have been broken. So market actually stands in relatively free space here. It's because it has entered in a new trading territory and previously have been abandoned right here, retested. Now market return right back down. So it means that, well, this is negative sign, and it means that downside breakout has more chance to happen than some suddenly reversal in the middle of the range and rally up. And from that standpoint, I suppose that we could keep an eye on this ABCD pattern, which is actually has the OP at the same 26 area. So that's what we have currently on the cryptocurrency. On the lower time frame, I do not see lots of things to do. So first, on the 4-hour time frame chart, as I said, well, the same ABCD pattern right here. On the hourly chart, the one thing that maybe could happen, it's maybe some pullback. Market could try to, based on the reaching of the daily result, it could show some pullback to the confidence, 37, 37.60 area. But with this performance forming the bearish flag pattern, I do not see, well, something that could tell us that market is preparing for reversal or something of that sort. This reminds mostly the consolidation of the collapse, preparation for the next leg of the to the downside. And around the confidence or around 618 level, you also could see the previous lows. So maybe theoretically we could suggest that maybe it could retest it. But personally, I'm not really believe with that. So I think that once market will take a rest with this flattening action, it is interesting, by the way, what the Fed will tell this week. It's because we can't exclude that rate could be changed even in January, although the chances stand small, but who knows. Well, and I think that the market will take the rest and abandon the oversold area. It's more probable that we will get downward continuation here. So overall picture looks bearish, and we, well, once again, we're stand aside from the taking any long position on the Bitcoin market.